Everyone, it's Shari Carroll for simonsandStamp.com, and I'm going to show you a really quick background you can do with your distress crayons. So I'm starting off with a piece of watercolor cardstock. This is the Tim Holtz Distress cardstock, and a couple of my colors from the set number 5 of the distress crayons. These crayons are a really soft mixture so that you can buff them out with your finger and you can blend colors together. So right now I'm just adding some cracked pistachio to the background and rubbing it around with my finger. They do dry on the paper, so you want to make sure that if you want to blend them out, you do it right away. So next I'm adding in a little bit of tumbled glass and I'm allowing those to overlap a little bit. And the more that I lay down, the easier it is to move around. If you go really lightly, it's not going to move around quite as much. Now that I have my blue and green laid down, I'm going to start to introduce another color, and this one is frayed burlap. So what this will do is add a little bit of brown tone and mute out some of those colors. So once I have the color down on the paper, you can see how that smears out quite a bit easier than it does when you first put the color down. So just by adding a little bit of brown, I've now changed some of that green to almost a yellow, and then I can also add in my blues and greens right back on top. So once I'm happy with my little background, I'm going to go ahead and put this stencil right down on top. And next I'll be grabbing a baby wipe, and I've used this for another project, so it's not really terribly wet. But right now I'm just rubbing into that stencil and I'm removing some of that color. This is a really fine stencil, so it is kind of grabbing at my baby wipe a little bit, but I'm just trying to get right into that design. The beauty of the distress crayons is that they are water reactive, so they are reacting to the water that is in the baby wipe. I could use a wet paintbrush and run over my background and mix in my colors for another look, but I thought I would try the stencil just so I can show you this fun pattern. Another thing I can do with the stencil and the crayon, once I've removed the color, now I can go back in and add blue into the stencil. So just by drawing onto the stencil and then rubbing it in with my finger, I'm adding a little bit of these blue arrows right into the background pattern. So to create a quick background, you can use 3 colors and 1 stencil and get a really fun look to add a greeting to and put onto a front of a card. I hope I've given you some tips and tricks to create a quick background using distress crayons from Tim Holtz. And as always, thanks so much for watching.